This is Edward Bevilacqua, and today is November 19, 2018, here in Las Vegas at Novum-U, where we help struggling adults who are motivated to get to the next stage of their life. We help them move forward through education, employment, housing, and counseling. So today, week 4, we're going to talk about employment planning workshop. And first, I want to say good morning to our students in Reno. Glad that you're there. Students here in Las Vegas and Henderson, Casa Grande, and those people at CCDC waiting to join us. And then hopefully people in the future at Florence McClure Women's Prison also. So today's employment planning workshop. What's that mean? I don't know. Well, actually I do. Employment planning workshop is our proactive approach to employment. This is the type of employment that educated people do, professional people do, not what we do, not what we, meaning our typical student does. People watching this, what most people do is called reactive employment, meaning you go online or you go in the newspaper and you look to see who's hiring, and then you compete with other people to get hired by them. That's not our approach. We have a proactive approach, which starts with what do you want to do. However, I'm going to take a step back to a framework. So our employment planning workshop is a 6-step process, which we're going to go over quickly on this video, and we're going to break it down the next 5 days or the next 4 days into its constituent parts, But today we're going to do an overview. And employment planning workshop, proactive approach, the 6-step proactive approach to getting a career job. However, step 6 is to get a foundational job. That's a job to pay the bills. That's a job to get your resume in a position to get the kind of work or get into the kind of path that you want to do. So primarily, we're going to talk about that today. And we need to get people prepared for that, because next week is the week that you go out and get a foundational job as you're putting together the plan for your career. Okay, so let me break that down. There's 2 types of fundamental work: careers and jobs. Most people have a job. Most people don't have a career. And by a career, I don't mean something that you do for a long period of time. What I mean by a career is something that you're passionate about, something that you look forward to doing every morning, every day of your life, something that is your calling or your destiny type of thing. That's what I mean by career. Hold on. Okay, we'll probably be there in the background. It's kind of cold here in Las Vegas now. Okay, so there's a career. Then you have all of the work that's not a career work. And we only care about the type of work that's not career work, that is lining you up for career work. And that could be just about anything, but it's not intended to be permanent. And it should be something that helps prepare you for your career. It's really designed to pay the bills also, if that's a need. So that's what we're going to focus on today, because most of our students are not able to just jump into their career. Okay? So what we're going to be doing this week is doing our employment planning workshop, which is a long-term process, a few weeks to do it properly. We're going to do that, but we're simultaneously going to be working on our foundational job, so that next week we can be out looking for work, getting employed. Now, overall thing I also want to say, and hopefully you're taking notes on this, is it's always best to look for a job when you already have a job. That builds your value up in the person who's hiring you. Because if you don't have a job, one of the first questions in the minds of the interviewer is, why don't you have a job? How come nobody's hired you? So, it's always better to have a job than no job, but we don't want to just run out and get the first job we can necessarily, probably not. So we want to do a little bit of time in that. And our focus this week is to understand the employment planning workshop, number one. And number two, be prepared for foundational employment next week. And we'll have some kind of bonus or award or recognition for the people who actually accomplish their foundational employment next week. So, okay, take a deep yoga breath, as Nancy King would say. So now we're going to jump into it. Or, as Father Max, the Jesuit in Nevada, would say, fasten your seatbelts. We're getting ready for a wild ride. Okay, what's a foundational job? I just said it. So a foundational job is anything that's not a career job, career position, that prepares your resume for a career position. Okay? So it's not a throwaway job. In Casa Grande, they're used to the term throwaway job, which is just a job I have to pay the bills. I don't really care about it at all. It's a throwaway job. As soon as I can get rid of it, I will. That's not a foundational job. A foundational job could be a job to pay the bills. In fact, it usually is a job to pay the bills. But it's primarily a job to pay the bills that also looks good on your resume. It's to a purpose. And it could be something considered very low level. It could be janitor at some place. And that could be viewed as low level, but it could be viewed as a stepping stone to becoming a janitor at a place like Walmart or at a hospital, someplace where being a janitor is very important. So a foundational job is like a foundation in a house. It's something to build upon. And then generally speaking, probably universally speaking, better your foundation, the better the building, the better the thing that rests upon the foundation. So we also have a form for you to fill out so that our staff can help you identify the work that is going to be your foundational job and then help also with your career. So a foundational job is something that's going to make your resume look good to help you get a career position, and it's something that builds a Now, Jordan Peterson, if we bracket on that for a second, would say it's important for your well-being just to even have a job, just to have the routine of getting up in the morning, having something to do, going out, doing something, carrying a load. And the heavier the load, the better it is for you. So don't think your foundational job is something that you have to be really excited about. Just the fact that you're out doing something, going from being, in your mind, might be useless to doing something useful. And that should be motivating you to go get the job. Don't be afraid of getting a job. Kind of reframe it so that, hey, this is my opportunity to start feeling better, get out there, start making money, being able to do stuff. And it's only temporary. It's not permanent. I can do anything for 30 days. So that's to give our people time, our specialists time to help you with the employment planning workshop and get into your actual job. Foundational jobs could be telemarketing, customer service. I can assure you, when you go to virtually any employer, if you have experience on telemarketing and you have been successful, big benefit. Because most people are afraid to talk to strangers. Most people are not good on the phone, so that's a big benefit. Okay, so that's the foundational thing. So this week, our real focus is going to be to prepare you for your foundational work next week. And so that our staff, our specialists, can help you prepare for that. Okay, what's the employment planning workshop? Time is racing, so we've got to get into that. Our employment planning workshop is a proactive approach to obtaining career employment, something you're passionate about. So career employment could be one of the things we call it is your destiny. What is it? Well, let's say calling first. Calling a job that you would do for free if you could afford to do it. You like it so much you'd be willing to do it for free. A destiny would something you love doing so much you pay to do it. And most people have these things, something that they do for free, or they pay to do it. Paying to it, something that you love doing so much you pay to do it, that's often called a hobby. Hobby, the rock and roll quotes, hobby. People pay for their hobby. That's kind of the definition of a hobby. You love doing it so much you invest time and money to do it. Why not have that as your career? So, step one in the employment planning workshop is, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your career? What are you passionate about? What would you be willing to do for free? What would you be willing to pay to do? What do you have as hobbies? And what would you do? Okay, that's step one. What do you want to do? This is a hard step for most people, because most people start on the basis that work is a four-letter word that ends in K. It's not good. It's something you have to do, not something you want to do. But really successful people don't think of work that way. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, all of those people, Nolan Bushnell, all of those people think of work as, they don't think of it as work, they think of it as enjoyment, fulfilling, meaning and purpose in their life. Nolan Bushnell, who's in his mid-70s, will often, virtually every time we have a conversation, starts off with, okay, Nolan, how many jobs do you have right now? And then he'll chuckle and say, I don't know, 7, 8, I can't really tell. It's hard to tell the difference between work and pleasure, etc. That's what successful people do. Most people don't do that. Most people don't do it because they grew up in families and households where the dad hated work or the mother hated work. So we want to get that this is a thing of what do you want to do? It's not hard, just think in terms of if I could do anything I wanted to do, what would that be? Then we go to Carrie Green, TED Talk. And our thing is, she says, okay, the next question is, after what do you want to do, it's why do you want to do it? You got to have a good reason why. So if you don't have a good reason why, you're going to end up getting that position and you're not going to be happy, like her TED Talk. The third thing from per Carrie Green is, who do you need to become in order to do that? You might say you want to be an astronaut, then you ask the question of, well, who do you need to become? And you might find out you can't get there. Or you might want to be in the medical field or some field, and your criminal record, your record doesn't allow you to do that. So you got to be able to answer the question, who do you need to become? And then you got to ask yourself, are you willing to do what it takes to do that? You can flip back over to Jordan Peterson right now, who would say, okay, well, think of what is the highest achievable ambition, the highest achievable goal, the highest attainable goal. What's the highest thing you can attain in the next 3 to 5 years? And then to ask yourself, well, what do I have to do that's better than that? Of course, your answer should be nothing. And Jordan Peterson is going to say, okay, well then, if that's your highest attainable goal and you have nothing better to do, then why not spend all of your time pursuing that goal? Okay, so that's step one. What do you want to do? Step two, find 3 to 5 companies that do that. That's pretty simple. How do you do that? Well, you need the internet to do that. Google search, Maps, Google Maps, YouTube, and then as you refine it, you get into other things like Glassdoor, Wikipedia. But start with YouTube search. So we've had people come in and we ask the question, what do you want to do? What would you like to do if you could do anything? And they say, I'd like to hang out at the shopping mall. Okay, cool. What kind of companies hang out at shopping malls? Well, secret shoppers, people doing interviews, people taking polls, security guards, information, people finding information, etc. So a lot of people do it. Then you find 3 to 5 companies that actually do that. And Google Maps is important here because you want to know where they're located. Okay, step 3, so that's step 2 in employment planning workshop. What do you want to do? Who does it? Step 3 is you research the companies. And you got to think of this kind of like a Ferris wheel. That you're going to start doing your research, you might find out, nah, not interested, no, that doesn't fit my needs. And you got to replace it with someone else because you always have to have 3 to 5 companies that you're working on. And you want to use Google Drive to document what you're doing, especially when it comes to your researches, to copy the links to the web pages and everything you find to make it easy to go back and retrace your steps, and then use the bookmarks bar to have a folder that says Employment Planning Workshop. Okay, so step 3 is you research them. Well, how much research? An hour, a day, a minute? Well, one way to think about it is, how much time are you willing to put into a career? Something you want to do for 2 years, 5 years, whatever, that should be worth 10, 20 hours at least. Okay, so researching, well, to what level? Your standard should be, you want to know the company better than the person interviewing. Now that sounds like it might be hard. Actually, the larger the company, the easier it is to know more about that company than the person interviewing, especially current events. So the example I'd like to use is Zappos and Tony Hsieh. So the people in the HR department are busy doing their job. They probably don't know what Tony Hsieh did yesterday. But Tony Hsieh might have a YouTube video of what he did yesterday, because Tony has been very prolific in having videos of him. So you go to YouTube, Hsieh, and you look for the most recent videos that he has. And then when you're doing your interview, of course, you want to make a point of letting the person know that you know what Tony Hsieh was doing. For example, if they ask you a question, why do you want to work here? Blah, 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 blah. And I really like Tony Hsieh's, what Tony Hsieh said and did when he was in Albuquerque yesterday. Oh, what? I didn't even know Tony was in Albuquerque. Oh, I'm interested. Well, tell me about that. So you want to know more about the company than the person interviewing. And you just need to go over and over and over and over and over. Okay, that's step 3. Step 4, create a plan. This is primarily based around the story. So we can think about Seth Godin, outside our school sightseeing, and how do you change the status quo? How do you nudge it forward? Find something to change. Well, the job thing, what you want to change is you're not working. That's the status quo. You want to change that to be, I am working here. So, okay, what's the status quo I want to change? Tell a story. Okay, good. Well, fast forward, Simon Sinek. What's the point of the story? I know this is week 3. This was last week. We covered this a long time ago. Simon Sinek is the story has to be about why you want to change the status quo. So this starts with and answers the question, why do you want to work here? And this goes back to the beginning of your life, or wherever the first time this business motivated you, and you had a calling to do it, you wanted to do it, and then you build a story around it. Because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. As Simon said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So if you can convince the person, if your story is compelling, and you can convince the interviewer that you're the best person for the job, guess what? They're going to make an offer. Okay, that's so step 4 is the plan. So the plan is the story, but it's also how you go about preparing to execute the plan. So in other words, let's say you have your thing down to 3 companies, and what you do first is you schedule your interviews with those 3 companies. You schedule interviews with those 3 companies. You don't go on any interview, schedule the interviews. You try to get the interviews in the order that's most important. So for example, you know when you come out of your first interview and walk out and say, damn, I wish I would have said that, I wish I would have thought about that. So that means don't go to the place that you want first, don't interview there first. And so my order would be, I want to interview with my second choice first. So my first interview is with my second choice. My second interview is with my first choice. And my third interview is with my third choice. That's how I would want to do it. And the idea is you get in the interview, and if things are going well, it's your second choice. Things are going well. If things are not going so well, when you walk out, you know what you could have done. Next, you go to your first choice. I do it. I go to my first choice, where I really like to work. I come off my learning experience with my second choice, and part of my story is I really want to be in this business, blah, 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 and I'm interviewing with you and your top 2 competitors. Don't be afraid to say that. They're looking for people who want to work for them. They're looking for people who know stuff. So if you say, I'm interviewing with you and your top two competitors, you want them to say, oh, who's that? And then you tell them, and they say, yeah, okay, you're right. Okay, good. What is that? In their brain, what does that mean? That means you've done your homework. That means you know what their business is. You know about them. You know who their biggest competitors are. It also means they're not just thinking about, should I hire you? They're also going to be thinking on the level of, do I want you to go work for my competitor? So now you have another thing. So, so you're there, you have your plan, you get out, I'm working for you. This is the business I want to be in, blah, 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 blah. I'm interviewing with you and your two biggest competitors. And you build your story around that. And part of the reason we talk about I'm interviewing with you and your two biggest competitors is you want them to say, when can you start? Now, most people pull the ripcord and say, right now, right away, start right away. Not really a good strategy. Think about poker. If you have a winning hand, do you just want to declare, oh, I've got you guys can't beat me. I'm going to take the pot right now. Or do you want to build the pot? So you can pull the ripcord and get a little bit, or you can be more strategic, use some strategery, and get more, get better. But the best answer would be to say, if they say, when can you start? To say, well, I have two more interviews. I told you I'm interviewing with you, two biggest competitors. I have two more interviews. My last one will be over on Thursday, or whatever day. My last one will be over on Thursday, or whatever day it is. Hoping that they're going to say something like, well, what does it take to get you to not interview with those people? Now, once again, those people who are weak are going to pull the ripcord and say more money or something. It's a trick question. Because if you're the person who is going to just go for an offer, what does it take to get you to not interview with those, then you're not really the kind of person we're looking for, because that means to me, if you're that quick to abandon these other two people, you could do the same with us. You could change your mind. So the better answer would be something like, please don't put me in that position. I gave my word. They scheduled time for me. Somebody else didn't get an interview. My thing is over on Thursday at 4. I can call you right after that. You know what? If they are interested in you, that's going to be cool, because they're probably interviewing other people too. It's very unlikely that they're going to say, when can you start today? Okay, great, done. And not interview the other people. They're probably going to interview the other people anyway, because that's how the game is played. That's the rules of the game. I'm going to interview 10 people. Boy, you're really good. I really like you. I've got some more people I have to interview, but can you? I'll give you a call. You know, that's generally how it works. So it's okay to turn the tables on them. And they say, when can you start? Well, I have 2 more interviews. Remember, I said I'm interviewing with you, your 2 biggest competitors. My last one is on Thursday. Okay, well, what does it take to get you to not do that? Please don't put me in that position. And you do this, you're trying to bond with people, get some empathy, compassion, get them to feel how you feel. Please don't put me in that position. I gave my word. Now, when you say I gave my word, is that a good thing or a bad thing? That's a really good thing, right? Because they're going to perceive you as, oh, this is a person whose word is important, versus, oh, this is a person who just goes for the money. Okay, now, so that's step 4, is you're planning all of this out because you want that to happen. You want to be in a position where they say, when can you start? And you say, well, I have interviews, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to get in there and get your interviews lined up with your 3 companies. So you have 1, 2, 3, close order, try to get them. For me, again, it's second, first, second, third. And the reason for third is if I have 2 job offers for my first and second company, now I can go and swinging for the fences. And I can say I'm interviewing with you and your 2 biggest competitors. In fact, I have offers from both of them. How do you think that's going to be at your third choice? How's that going to be perceived? That's going to be perceived by them of, wow, if you've got an offer from my biggest competitor, you must be worth it. And maybe it's worth it for me to invest more to get you. And for Dan Gilbert, we're going to find out in synthetic happiness, if you end up taking that third job because they made you a good offer, you're going to be really happy with that. Synthetic happiness is going to kick in. If you accept the irreversible condition of that, you're not going to take job number 1 or number 2. You will be happy. You'll be just as happy with number 3 as you would have been with number 1 or number 2. And you might even be happier because you should be getting a better compensation package or a better path to progress or something. You'll figure out a way to turn it to a positive. Okay, step 5 is actually executing the plan. So that's when you do it. And then step 6 is to get a job to pay the bills until job number 1 comes in. And that's the foundational employment. That's what we're really going to focus on this week. And you should think of it as a foundational thing. You should think of it as preparing for that. You shouldn't have an attitude of, well, if I can't be the president of this company, I don't want to work there. Think in terms of, I'm competing with people who maybe spent 10 or 20 years to get this job, and I'm just trying to do it right now. I need a foundational position to do that. And also, another foundational position is if you want to get a job, say at the Venetian parking cars, you go on their website, you find out they don't actually have any openings for people parking cars, but they have a policy that is if you are employed at the Venetian, after a period of time, say 90 days, you can bid for a transfer to another thing. So another part of the plan in the strategy involved is to just, it's called the camel getting its nose under the tent. Just get in the place. Just get in the place. And if you have talent, you're going to have more opportunity. So don't feel you need to get the job, that your career job. This is the foundational job. This is the one that gets you in the door. And if you're looking for benefits, then you would go for a company like the Venetian or like Grand Sierra. Just get any job that's in there. It's a foundational job. It's not your career. It's not the end of the road. It's the beginning of the road. It's the beginning of the journey. Okay, so that's what we're going to do this week. And everybody should be getting a mindset for, I'm going to get a foundational job. I don't really care what it is, as long as it helps build my resume. It's not permanent. I'm going to start feeling better about myself and about my life and my prospects. I'm going to be getting experience. And my progress, my process towards a life of meaning and purpose starts right now with my outlook about my foundational job. So anyway, that's where we are. Thank you for being there, world. Until tomorrow.